have this memorized, so I'm going to be looking at my phone. Hi, so my name is Zena, and I'm a senior, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about zigging and zagging. So when I was a freshman, I knew at the time that a lot of my friends seemed to be leaning towards pre-med, and I wanted to study biology, and I wanted to be pre-med too. So I went through my first week of school, excited, studying, adjusting to what it meant to live away from home. And I was overwhelmed with the newness of being at Stanford. But on the first week of classes, my dad passed away from a heart attack. And at that moment, I felt like my world had crashed down. I was far away from home and people I barely met 2 weeks ago. Everything was unfamiliar and uncertain. And his passing also left me with a feeling of immense amount of pressure that as the eldest child in my family, with my dad as the main provider gone, and the only one in my extended family to reach a top-tier school, I felt I had to do my very best and be successful. So I was committed to being pre-med and being a biology major. And all of freshman year, I took chemistry and math and some classes in the medical school. But during my freshman spring, I started to feel some doubts. And I talked with my academic counselor about my doubts, and she asked me what I really loved to study. And I told her I didn't know, but I just felt like if I studied anything else besides biology, I would feel less respected, less successful, less important. I had dug myself a hole in my mentality. But not only was I doubtful though, I was not very happy, and I was doing pretty poorly in my classes. In high school, I received almost all A's, but within my first year of college, I had received my first C+ and a few B's, and I struggled. And then sophomore fall came around, and I was taking an inorganic chemistry class, creating impure solutions of basically Tylenol inside my chemistry lab, and taking my first biology class at Stanford. And then one day, it was around week 6 of my sophomore year, fall quarter, and I was sitting on my futon. It was late at night, and I was under my lofted bed in Crothers, and I had put up a curtain, and I closed it around me, and I just sat alone, staring at my computer, looking at the next chemistry piece set that was absolutely difficult, and I thought to myself, I don't want to be a doctor. So I opened up my Evernote, and I just kept writing about why I didn't want to be a doctor anymore, because I was exhausted studying chemistry and biology, and I wasn't very good at it. And I didn't feel like I had the passion I thought I should have. Now that was a very hard day for me, admitting to myself that I didn't want to be a doctor after I was more than a year into college, and that I didn't love what I was studying, but that was my first zig at Stanford. So I felt if I had told my family this, I would disappoint them. And I felt like if I changed majors at that time, I would lose all my friends, because at that time, all my friends were pre-meds. And I felt like I wouldn't be successful anymore, because in my mind, being a doctor meant success, and I didn't know any other pathways towards success. And I still really wanted my family to be proud of me, and I wanted to be able to graduate and know that I would have a job and that I would be able to be financially independent. So the next day, I called up my mom, and I asked her for forgiveness, because I told her I was sorry because I was not going to be a doctor anymore, and I didn't know what I was going to study, and I wanted to quit school for a bit and just go back home for a while, because I felt burned out. So she told me, luckily, that it was okay, and she just wanted me to find what made me happy. But she told me I should stick it out and search for something that I really wanted to do. And hearing that, I felt so much relief that she wasn't disappointed in me. So for the first time, I was figuring out what I wanted to do. And I looked online at the majors list, and I just couldn't decide what major really fit me. But then a friend recommended I look into product design, and I tried out some classes, and I really started to like the major, and I felt happy. So I switched to product design, and that was my second ZAC. But the problem was that I still felt burned out, and for the first time in 2 years, I tried out mental health services at CAPS, and I began to have faith again in therapy, and it helped me with my burnout and my depression, my residual grief from my dad passing away. And I also began thinking about what I really wanted to do. At the time, I really wanted to travel. I hadn't traveled outside California in 6 years, and I really wanted to spend time with my family, and I wanted to read books, and I wanted to think about what I wanted out of my Stanford education and what I wanted out of my career. And all these things I wanted to do were not at Stanford, so I decided that I should take a gap year. So that was when I zigged again. So with these 3 stories, I hope that if you guys ever feel like in life there's a zig or a zag approaching you, I hope you know that it's okay. Thank you.